Raichu is a support Pokemon we haven't seen used too much in Generation 9. However, it still has access to some really strong tools, especially with Lightning Rod, Fake Out support, and a few other techs. We're going to see how well Raichu can perform in Generation 9 with this team that got top 4 at an online tournament recently. This Raichu plus Weakness Policy Dragonite team got top 4 at an online Limitless tour. The idea of the team is you have Upper Hand Raichu, a move that is usually able to move before an opponent using priority attacks and flinch them. It's a little bit weak, but however, with Dragonite, you have that inner focus ability that prevents it from flinching, and you can go for the Terra Normal to get that Weakness Policy boost, and then go for a very powerful Extreme Speed afterward. That is the idea of the team, and you also have enablers with that Upper Hand plus the Weakness Policy, and then able to go out in a Shein Power with Sword of Ruin. It's +2 Dragonite with the math is more powerful than a Choice Band Dragonite, so able to do even more damage if the cards align. You have the Raichu though that also has access to Lightning Rod, which is nice, especially against Arcaladon, Raging Bolt, and a few other electric types that are currently running around. Raichu is also able to support the team with Electroweb speed control, being a very fast base 110 allows you to catch many Pokemon, hit them with Electroweb, so you can follow up with your Entei or your Ogerpon to do more damage. You also have Helping Hand support, which is nice to boost up the power free moves. Even if you aren't able to get the Upper Hand strategy with Dragonite, you can still boost the power of your partners. And Fake Out support, of course, no need to say much about that. Followed up with the team, you have standard Ogerpon that's able to go for the Follow Me support, Wellspring Ogerpon plus the Entei, just a really strong Fire, Water, Grass core. And this Entei does help out against Flutter Mane, which of course, when you're trying to sweep with Extreme Speed, having a switch in and something that can usually do a lot of damage to Flutter Mane is very much appreciated. The remainder of the team is a speed booster support Flutter Mane with Taunt and Icy Wind that's able to help out with more speed advantage, and Taunt to shut down things like Trick Room, Amoonguss, and more that could be a bit annoying for the rest of the team. And finally, the Shein Pal, not much to say about. Stellar Terra to boost up its damage output, and of course with the Sword of Ruin, able to do really strong damage, a fast Pokemon, really good sweeper that also pairs well with the Dragonite that can either allow Dragonite to do massive damage right off the bat, or if you're able to get the Upper Hand Weakness Policy strat off, so much damage. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. Whimsicott Flutter Mane, the Farigiraf, Heartflame Ogerpon, Raging Bolt, and the Gouging Fire. All right, how do I want to perform against this? They have Farigiraf, which is not super easy for me to handle. Entei is really strong against this team. It's just the Gouging Fire is a little bit scary, but otherwise I think I do have the tools. I probably want to bring Entei. Raichu isn't so bad. The Fake Out, also being able to redirect the electric type moves from the Raging Bolt could also be a thing. So I actually like the Raichu plus the Entei, especially since I do think it's probably like the best call. Dragonite Shein Power seems really strong in the back. I'm leaning the Raichu for Electro Up speed control, and I think that could be really valuable with like Electro Up Snarl potentially. If it's, I'd probably just want to go for Helping Hand Sacred Fire if like they lead Flutter Mane, which I think is actually really valuable here. So I want to see what they lead. I think Raichu gives me the best offensive capabilities next to my Entei, because Entei is really strong against this team overall. We're going to see the Whimsicott and the Ogerpon. All right, because I do lead the Entei and the Entei and Raichu. Are we going to see an immediate Farigiraf switch? I guess that's a good question. I would probably just like to Stomping Tantrum the Ogerpon immediately and just go for an Electroweb. I want to double up the Whimsicott. That gives them a free switch. I'm not a big fan of that. I think I'm just going to go for Electroweb Stomping Tantrum. I think the way that they knock out Raichu is if they Sunny Day Ivy Cudgel, or if they go for it, which I don't think they're going to Sunny Day in front of the Entei that could threaten the Sacred Fire. We are going to see the swap from the Whimsicott. This is going to be the Farigiraf. Perfect. Okay. So Electroweb is huge here. Let's see if they Terra or not. No Terra. They do have Stomping Tantrum though, so that's a good thing to note. That doesn't KO the Raichu, which is a big deal. And we're able to get an Electroweb off into the Ogerpon, so that's a pretty good hit. Wow, that did no damage. I guess we do have a bit of bulk because we were able to tank the attack. Okay. Here comes the Stomping Tantrum into the Ogerpon. A bit more damage, but I think I can threaten the Helping Hand Sacred Fire KO to Ogerpon. It doesn't look like I'd be able to KO the next turn, or with just a regular Sacred Fire. So I think I do have to go for the double up here with Helping Hand Sacred Fire to pick up the knockout. They might not expect it here, and if that's the case, that would be really nice if they gave me the Ogerpon, because it is looking like their main threatening offense into the Entei. For Rigraph, not really threatening too much damage unless it is one of the Throat Spray sets. We'll find out. We will go for the Helping Hand. We're going to see Helping Hand from their side. So yeah, they're going all in on the Entei, hoping that Entei can't pick up the knockout. But because of that Electro Web, speed control is really valuable here. And with that Helping Hand support, able to knock out the Ogerpon. So that is absolutely huge. Getting rid of one of their biggest ways of threatening the Entei. Raichu now looking pretty strong to just Electro Web next to the Entei. Unless it's Flutter Mane, but if it's Flutter Mane, you know what I'm doing. I'm clicking Helping Hand Sacred Fire, and I will lock it in. So I am going to go for Helping Hand Sacred Fire easily into the Flutter Mane, which I guess they got to go for Helping Hand Shadow Ball. Or Helping Hand Power Gem, maybe. I don't think that knocks out an Assault Vest Entei, though. So just got to hit one move here into the Flutter Mane, and then all their damage output is kaput. As we see the Helping Hands. All right. Shadow Ball comes out. Okay, we do land a Sacred Fire. I was remaining quiet because I was like about to be ready to miss. But I am able to hit the Flutter Mane. So their damage output severely limited. Now it's Whimsicott and the Farigiraf. Don't think they can break through. I mean, realistically, they could, right? They could break through. But what does this have to be? The Whimsicott has to go for Tailwind. I probably have to miss my Sacred Fire. Farigiraf has to knock out the Entei, which I don't know. I just don't think you're knocking out the Entei in this position. I also have the Dragonite that's still all ready to go. And if they KO the Entei and focus your efforts on the Entei, I do have the ability to keep my Raichu in with the Terra Normal and the Dragonite. I can go for a upper hand to get that weakness policy set up. The Whimsicott is going to reveal itself. And let's just go for I think a Sacred Fire plus a Snarl is, or Sacred Fire plus Electrobe's pretty strong here. I gotta hit some moves anyway at this point. I don't really have to hit any of these moves, I think, for the most part. Because if I go for not Sacred Fire, I'm going for, what, Snarl? And that also has the same accuracy, so I might as well just go for the Sacred Fire if I can hit it into the Whimsicott. So I'd rather just go for Sacred Fire at that point. Stomping Tantrum damage really doesn't matter too much, I think. They're going to go for Tailwind. Yeah, they're going for the Farigiraf Hope. Let's see if Farigiraf's even faster than Raichu at -1. It is not, and we're able to hit Electro up, so that Farigiraf going to go down to -2 speed. So under Tailwind, it is a neutral speed. And guess what? That is not going to be enough outspeeding the Entei, as the Sacred Fire will come out into the Whimsicott. Goodbye, Whimsicott deleted. And now that Farigiraf, what's its option? Psychic Hyper Voice? Psy Shock. Okay, so they actually had a way to hit the Entei through the Assault Vest, and it wasn't enough to pick up the Entei, so all right. But I do think that this is just pretty much a wrap right here. I can go out in the Dragonite very safely. I can go for that upper hand strategy into the Farigiraf and go for the Aerial Ace, because I'm not going to go for extreme speed against the Farigiraf, as I am not going to get caught by Armor Tail, but also I am not going to fall for the, what's it called, the Terra Fairy option and click Outrage, because that is not worth it either. So I will just lock in Aerial Ace. They're going to forfeit. Game 100% sealed. Raichu putting in a lot of work, and Entei. They didn't have the best answers to the Entei. They targeted down to Raichu turn 1. Tried to get me with Farigiraf, but Electro put me that solid speed advantage so I could outspeed the next turn. They didn't think I could KO. Helping Hand kind of surprised them there. Raging Bolt, Incineroar, Rillaboom, the Heartflame Ogerpon, Flutter Mane, and the Xianpao. They have a really weak matchup against Entei. I'm trying to figure out what their Entei matchup is. They don't have a good one, I would say. I really do like Raichu here. I think Raichu's solid. I think Raichu and Entei are both really good into this match. I really like the Dragonite Xianpao endgame too, so I think that's probably what I'm going to go. I just don't see a reason not to go for it. Ogerpon, Not that's amazing, this matchup. It helps out against Incineroar, but that's really it. Maybe if I Terra, but they do have double grass, which I'm not a huge fan of. Flutter Mane, not really doing too much other than the speed booster can follow up for like knockouts, but I think Dragonite and Shein Pow have better tools to accomplish that. I think the biggest threat is going to be the Raging Bolt. If I can get rid of Raging Bolt, that's pretty huge, but also like just slowing it down with Snarl should be pretty powerful enough. If I can get rid of Flutter Mane, Extreme Speed is really powerful. I think Shein Pow is probably a big threat, especially if it's a Terra Ghost one. So I think that'd probably be saved in the end game. So I would really love to potentially either force the Shein Pow in early, but we'll see. It could be like Stomping Tantrum, I suppose, on the Ogerpon. They're really, really weak to Entei. We're going to see the lead of Incineroar and Flutter Mane, which is A-okay by me, as we lead the Raichu and the Entei. What item are you on the Flutter Mane? Booster? Okay, booster's revealed. Special attack or speed? Speed, I'm not really super concerned about. I'm just going to go for a fake out into the Incineroar. Do I want to Stomping Tantrum too? I wouldn't mind going for that, especially since Flutter Mane could protect here. I wouldn't really love Raichu taking so much damage though. I think I am just going to Sacred Fire. I don't need the damage in Incineroar just yet. They do protect the Flutter Mane. Okay. Unless this is Covert Cloak Incin or Eject Button, this should be a very uneventful turn one. Because then next turn I could go for Helping Hand, Sacred Fire, and do a lot. So I don't think this was too bad of a drawback. If the Flutter Mane attacked, it was getting some damage. And then I was just going to get a Helping... And then I could just Stomping Tantrum. Okay, we just got to hit one. Let's see if we can hit one. I do probably have to mine Sacred Fire power points though in this game. I think that actually might be a factor. So just gotta make sure I have enough Sacred Fires. But mainly I just need to... I think the big one is, again, Shein Pow. If I can control their Shein Pow, I feel like I'm in a very comfortable spot. So Helping Hand from the Raichu. Moonblast's gonna be fired off. We should be able to tank this just fine. Yep. Since Speed Boost is a little bit weak, we are able to get the Citrus Berry. And I think Incineroar probably Parting Shots to Entei. They really need to slow down the Entei because it's damage output, but I did get a knockout, so it's getting a little bit harder every time. So let's see what they tried to do. Flare Blitz double up in the Raichu. Okay, they really did not like the Raichu, but Raichu was only really here for fake out support. Helping Hand was nice to get rid of the Flutter Mane. Entei is still pretty healthy, so I will take it. I guess I'll go out in the Shein Pow now. Ogerpon is revealed. All right. So is the Stomping Tantrum on the Ogerpon? I think that's a very, very good question. I really don't want a Stomping Tantrum being fired off into the Entei. This could be Spiky Shield Parting Shot though. But if I double up the Incineroar, they lose the game, so I don't know if they would accomplish that. I think my best play is just to go out in a Dragonite and go for a Stomping Tantrum into the... Or do I want a Sacred Fire? I can afford to Sacred Fire because if they... I really want to click Stomping. That does activate Spiky Shield damage, but I think it's okay to risk. Let's see, do they go for the Stomping Tantrum and +1? And does that even KO Entei? I feel like Entei is pretty bulky, so I don't think that would KO, but we'll find out. They do go for the Terra. Yep, perfect. Okay, awesome. Unless it's Terra Incineroar. Terra Incineroar could be here. Okay, they did Terra the Incineroar instead. All right. Terra Ghost. They were trying to avoid Stomping Tantrum and Sacred Sword damage, it looks like. Spike Shield. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. That means you don't have a +1 Ogerpon, so that's still a pretty big deal. I mean, Tantrum will fail. Also, you don't have a Sacred Fire resist unless Raging Bolt's in the back. All right. They go for a knockoff. Ooh, I mean, Weakness Policy wasn't getting activated here, but that's still a little bit unfortunate. I think this is a pretty safe Aerial Ace and Sacred Fire. I don't really see a drawback here because they don't, unless this is Play Rough Ogerpon. But yeah, I just have a lot of offensive pressure that they can't really switch into well. They could go into their Raging Bolt if they have. I feel like you have to have Raging Bolt, right? You not have Raging Bolt, but the thing about Raging Bolt is I just pressure it with my Xian Pao. So just gotta keep Xian Pao around, I suppose. But I'm still kind of surprised about like how it's been handled. Ivy Cudgel, they're trying to break through the Dragonite, I suppose. I don't think they're able to pick up the knockout though. Sacred Fire into the Incineroar. Can we see a burn Incineroar? Looks like we don't get the burn. They'll heal with the Citrus Berry, but the Ogerpon is in range of Extreme Speed afterward. Okay, beautiful. And knock off into Entei. Okay, so they get rid of my Salt Vest, but it was only there for Fluttermane and... yeah, it was only there for Fluttermane. We're just gonna protect and go for a Sacred Fire again. Into Incineroar. Because they might spike a shield with the Ogerpon, yep, and also like... this also sets me up for a position where I can Extreme Speed the Ogerpon and then go for a Sacred Fire the next turn and be in a really good spot. Or Sacred Fire the Incineroar, because 2 should knock out the Incineroar at this range. Get the burn on the Incineroar, which is nice. They go for a knockout. They were trying to get the Dragonite, yep, but no can do. Yeah, now I can just go for Extreme Speed into the Ogerpon and just Sacred Fire, and I'll be completely fine. That was gonna be forfeit. Yeah, they really didn't have much. So, power of Entei, and a lot of disrespect to Entei. They just really did not have anything that could beat it. I thought like, okay, maybe they have Sami Tantrum on the Ogerpon, because yeah, like just bulky fire types are really strong, and being able to resist Fluttermane also helps because Incineroar takes a lot of damage, but Entei pretty good against Fluttermane. Scizor, Wellspring Ogerpon, Landorus Incarnate Form, Screamtail, Entei, Xianpao. Definitely one heck of a unique team, I'll say that much. Dragonite's really strong. My Ogerpon outspeeds the Landorus, so that's actually really huge. I would like Dragonite. Do I want Xianpao? Depends. I could definitely see it having some usage. I wonder if I could trap it. Electro was actually really good value here against Screamtail. I like the idea of Raichu plus Entei as a lead because Fake Out is really strong in this matchup alongside Ogerpon and I want to say the Dragonite. Xianpao, the problem with Xianpao is the only Pokemon I see that immediately threatens is going to be their Landorus. Otherwise, like, I think I'd rather have the value of Electroweb because Electroweb being able to slow down the Screamtail is actually really valuable to me because that means I could potentially prevent the disables happening onto my Sacred Fire on the Entei because if it's booster energy, it gets a little bit strange. We're going to see Xianpao and Ogerpon, so I actually really like this. Okay, against my Entei and my Raichu. I do have Fake Out. It should just be double protect, I'd imagine. I don't have Feint, but they could suspect Feint. I'm gonna go for an Electro up and just switch out into Ogerpon. I think it's a pretty safe switch for the most part. I don't expect them to target down the Entei with a Xianpao move right here, so Ogerpon should be in pretty safely. Protect coming out from the Xianpao should be just a double protect. Yeah, you don't want to risk too much this turn. Okay, nice. So I Electroweb, able to tank, or at least able to stay on around this turn. I can go for an Electroweb plus Hornleech, which I think is pretty solid. And getting rid of their Wellspring Ogerpon is pretty valuable. So I will go for Electroweb. We'll go for a Hornleech into the Ogerpon. And if the Xianpao sticks around, the Sword of Ruin will allow me to get more healing, even if they get some damage off. The Ice Spin are going to come out into Raichu. That's a-okay by me. Yep, we're able to tank it. Okay, the next turns are going to be a little bit complicated. Electro, please hit. Nice. Okay, so we have a speed advantage. That's really good. And we break the Sash on Xianpao, which is excellent for my Dragonite in the end game. Hornleech, good damage into the Wellspring Ogerpon. Ivy Cudgel double up into Raichu. All right. Raichu, you did a good job here. I actually really need the Electro up speed advantage. Okay, perfect. This is just an Entei coming out, and I can go for a Sacred Fire plus Hornleech. Yeah, I'm going to Sacred Fire the Ogerpon. I don't think you're ever going to Terra. I'm actually going to Ivy Cudgel the Xianpao because I don't think you're clicking follow me. We're going to see the Xianpao protect. Is this a double protect? Okay, no. They have a speed drop from the Electro Up, so the Sacred Fire should be enough to KO the Ogerpon. Yep, so they get a free switch, but I'm in a good spot because the Xianpao is still -1 speed. It is under speeding my Ogerpon and my Entei, and right now I have a lot of offensive pressure against them. Let's see who they decide to bring out. Scizor. I don't know if this is Terra Dragon or not. I would love to just get a Sacred Fire off into the... Do I want to target the Scizor or do I want to target the Xianpao? I think Sacred Fire is always the play. It could be Terra Dragon on the Scizor, which is okay. I'm just going to Sacred Fire and I'm going to Spike a Shield. I'm going to scout for what the Xianpao might do. This could be Sucker Punch, I guess, in the Entei, but they also could be trying to Sucker Punch here. We're going to see the Scizor go for the Terra Water. Okay. I wasn't sure if it's Terra Water. I was thinking potential Horn Leech for the Terra Water, but I thought Dragon would be more common. But this is okay. I am able to Spike. Oh, wait. They could Terra Blast. No, this is still okay. I think. Sacred Fire into Scizor. No burn. Okay, they Ice Spinnered. But I'm more concerned about the Scizor at the moment. What did you lock in with Scizor? It was Terra Blast. Okay. That is going to pick up the knockout because it's Sword of Ruin. Okay. Not great. Playable. We go Dragonite. Extreme Speed's really, really close in a Xianpao. I have no idea if we pick up the knockout. I do think it's probably worth it, though. Yeah, I'm going to go for the Terra Extreme Speed, I think, in the Xianpao. I'm just going to go for the Horn Leech and the Scizor. If they Sacred Sword immediately, it's not pleasant, but at least they can't Terra Ghost the Xianpao. This Extreme Speed is going to be super close for the knockout. They're going to retreat. What's coming in? Entei. Okay, that doesn't change too much. All right, let's see how much damage we can do with our Dragonite. Actually, it really comes down to do I KO the Xianpao, huh? Because if I don't KO the Xianpao, they get a lot of damage, and that puts me into range of an Extreme Speed from the Dragonite. So actually, I do need the KO onto Xianpao. So here goes an Extreme Speed from Dragonite. Oh, that's not good. They Sucker Punch. Oh, wait. Okay. That did a lot less than I expected, actually. So I get a Horn Leech off. I think Ogerpon's... this should be acceptable. I can go for Extreme Speed in a Xianpao. I can go for an Ivy Cudgel into the Entei. I am fast with my Ogerpon. I go for Extreme Speed in a Dragonite, which is an interesting play. All right. I do go for the Extreme Speed in a Xianpao, pick up the knockout. And then I KO the Entei, and then I win the game because I can Horn Leech Extreme Speed. All right. Was not expecting that sequencing. I was thinking that they hope that they can knock out the Ogerpon, but it works out in my favor. Entei goes down, and now it's just Scizor versus the world, and I just click Extreme Speed and a Horn Leech, and the Scizor cannot do enough. I don't think there's a single win con that I can really think of. So Extreme Speed, Horn Leech, the Scizor, Bullet Punch. Like, if they got the Extreme Speed off into Ogerpon, they could at least maybe force a Bullet Punch. But I think 2 Extreme Speeds from Dragonite, even without like a Choice Band, should still be able to easily pick up the knock on the Scizor. Yep. It's not Citrus Berry. So they go for the Bullet Punch, but it's not enough damage. I think Extreme Speed would have, because the Extreme Speed would have been under Sword of Ruin. But regardless, like again, 2 Extreme Speeds were able to pick up a knockout. Maybe if the Xianpaos went for Protect, they could have stayed around the turn. But yeah, I think which was huge was Electro Web getting that speed drop, because its speed control is so good. As we saw, like it really made the Xianpao a bit vulnerable. Also, like the fact that Ogerpon survived the... or took the Sucker Punch really well. I was a little bit shocked by it, but yeah, overall was able to take attacks, just able to dish out the damage, and Yeah, they didn't have a good answer because I was always like outspeeding them and putting on the damage output. Regigigas, Weezing, Dondozo, Tatsugiri, Raging Bolt, and the Flutter Mane. One heck of a game here, okay. Regigigas, Weezing. Is it Ability Shield Tatsu? I feel like it could get really... Actually, no, it shouldn't be, right? Because it doesn't... That situation wouldn't matter if you switch out to Weezing and have to get the Dondozo and the Tatsugiri in the board state. Yeah, it wouldn't matter. I do think that Entei is really important. I do like Entei quite a bit. I think I will go with Raichu Entei. I think it's one of my best answers to probably hits the Regigigas combination. And in the back, I think it's Dragonite, and I feel like I need Chien Pao. Unaware Dondozo is not fun. Yeah, Unaware Dondozo is not fun. I do want to try to brute force this if I can, but it's tricky. I guess like if I get damage into Regigigas, I can go for like an extreme speed upper hand situation because that's not affected by any of this, and I still get the knockout, but I have to watch out about burns from the Weezing, so a bit awkward. We're gonna see Weezing Flare Mane. Okay. Against Entei Raichu. Not a bad start. Neutralizing gas gonna affect the field. I pretty much just get a free... Do I want to Electro up Sacred Fire, or do I just want a Sacred Fire? I feel like I'd probably just want to Helping Hand Sacred Fire. Yeah, I'm gonna Helping Hand Sacred Fire to Flutter Mane. Alright, let's see what they decide to go for here. Maybe a double up into Raichu. Dazzling Gleam. It specs Flutter Mane, not too surprising. I need to connect the Sacred Fire into the Flutter Mane. That's pretty huge. Okay, nice. We are able to take the knockdown to Flutter Mane. A critical hit I don't think matters unless it's like max defense Flutter Mane, but that Dazzling Gleam did too much damage, I think, for it to be. Sludge Bomb into the Entei. That's fine. No poison. Very, very good. Okay, good start. Dondozo gonna come out. All right, so this is Dondozo into Tatsugiri. I'm gonna go for an Electro Web. Actually, do I? I think my play is probably just to go... I can't do upper hand strategies against Unaware Dondozo. I can do Helping Hand strats, but I don't think it's worth it. But I don't want to lose both Pokemon here. That's the problem. I think I switch out Raichu into Dragonite. And I am going to go for a Sacred Fire attempt. Let's see if this works out. I feel like this should be Earthquake. If it's Rock Slide, I mean, I didn't really have switches to Rock Slide regardless. Dragonite going to come in. They protect Dondozo. Okay. Ooh, wait. What did they do with the Weezing? Did they Sludge Bomb my Dragonite? Or are they targeting down my Entei again? Okay, they target down the Entei again. Which is acceptable. I really wish I could tell what Dondozo set this is. I guess I'm just gonna Aerial Ace Sacred Fire the Dondozo because they go Tatsu now. Yeah, I just don't know what the click here is on the Dondozo. If they're clicking a move into Entei, then there's like no point of the Dragonite really going for the Terra right now. And if they go for a Wave Crash, it's fine. All right, Commander. I just want to see what the item is on the Dondozo. That's also another key factor. Okay. They went for double extreme speed, I suppose. They went for Order Up into Dragonite. So I do have weakness policy. I don't know how this... I just don't think... This Dondozo should be unaware. If it's not unaware, that actually changes the game. Also, if I get a Sacred Fire burn, they're actually in a lot of trouble. Well, that's unfortunate. It's not Rocky Helmet. It's not Leftovers either. Is it Covert Cloak? Aerial Ace actually did do a chunk. I mean a chunk. I'm going to go for Extreme Speed into Dondozo and protect the Dragonite. Because I don't think they're probably expecting Protect on the Dragonite. But I feel like you should target Entei, but that's okay. Yeah, based on that damage, I think the Dundozo... Alright. I think the Dundozo is actually... I'm pretty sure that it is not unaware. So I'm actually going to go Xianpao and just go for the extreme speed. I could go for a wave crash now, but I guess... I don't know. The way they're playing it, I feel like it has to be. I am a little bit concerned about the Wheezy endgame, though. Wheezy endgame's a little bit tricky. Wheezy endgame is a little bit tricky. But I am going to go for my Terra Normal because I do want the extra power, and we'll find out. Actually, Weezing is going to be a bit complicated. So extreme speed into the Dundozo. That's a lot of damage. Yeah, it is not unaware. Order up. Perfect. Okay. That's good. I think it's in Sacred Sword range, so I just got to figure out what my role is here. Probably just go out into Entei. That Weezing is going to be the tricky question. I go Entei. I'm clicking Sacred Sword. I should knock out the Dundozo at the range. I got lucky that it's not unaware. I go for a Stomping Tantrum into the Dundozo. I go for Sacred Sword also into Dundozo. Should pick up a knockout. Yep, and we know it's not Rocky Helmet, so I get to preserve my sash on my Xianpao. And Stomping Tantrum should do too much damage to Tatsugiri to put in range of Sucker Punch. Yeah. Really good damage. Okay. Weezing in, but I'm pretty sure that I just get to click Sucker Punch into Tatsugiri, and I get to go for a Stomping Tantrum into the Weezing. So that's what we're going to click. Unless this is some Terra Fairy and they make a hard read. But I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to brute force. So, again, I got lucky that this was not unaware. We're going to see the Weezing go for the Terra. Going to be the Terra Ghost. Interesting. So they're Terra Ghosting the Weezing and not the Tatsugiri. So I wanted the Tatsugiri. They just know that Tatsugiri is going down. They actually go for Protect. So we confirmed that the Tatsugiri doesn't have Choice Scarf. So I can Ice Spinner that slot very safely. Okay. Stomping Tantrum for the chip. Dazzling Gleam. Okay. That does very little damage to Xianpao. Gonna go for a Sacred Fire. Actually, should I Snarl? Snarl doesn't change too much. I'm gonna Sacred Fire though, and I'm gonna Ice Spinner the Tatsugiri. They should go for a double protect. They get it. Okay, that can be a little bit annoying actually. All right, Ice Spinner fails. I get the Sacred Fire off into Weezing. Actually, is this this is a very losable game now because of the double. Ooh, that Sacred Fire did a lot though. I get the burn too. Okay. Very appreciated burn. It is Citrus Berry. Okay. This is Dazzling Gleam again. Yep, Dazzling Gleam. Xianpao goes down. All right. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go Raichu. I'm gonna click Electro Web. I think I'm okay. So I think the way I lose this is by either Sludge Bomb double crit or Sludge Bomb double poison, or like Sludge Bomb crit and then Sludge Bomb poison, like one of the two. They could get a triple protect, I suppose, but I'm gonna go for Electro Web plus the extreme speed. Yeah, it's enough to finish out the Tatsu, which is what I thought. Okay. Electro Web. Okay, we do hit. I was like about to say that could be a little bit bad. Okay. Sludge Bomb into Entei. No poison. Okay. If they got the poison, then the game was actually like came down to Raichu getting poisoned or crit, I'm pretty sure. But since we didn't, too close for comfort. Too close for comfort. Electro hits, and then Stomping Tantrum will be able to finish off this Weezing. So, oh boy, I think the big surprises were A, Weakness Policy Dragonite come into play, even though I didn't activate it myself. The fact that they activated it and it actually did a lot of damage, because I was shocked to see how much air lace it. And I'm like, that's not right if it's unaware. That has to be. Yep, and I was correct on that. So gained a Terra Normal Extreme Speed. Look at how much damage that did, by the way, and then cleaning it up afterwards. So really strong lead. I was able to get rid of Flutter Mane without losing too much. Was able to probably around the Dondozo somehow. I thought it would involve more of Sacred Sword Xianpao trying to break through that Dondozo, but without Unaware, Dragonite at +2. Don't underestimate that mon. All right, let's go over the games. In game 1, an amazing start, not falling for the Armor Tail switch in, as the Electro allowed Entei to outspeed Ogerpon the following turn, and with the Helping Hand support, catch the knockout. After the Entei was able to continue to get more knockouts until it was down to only the opponent's Farigiraf in a 1v3 scenario. In game 2, my opponent had very little answers for Entei, as I was able to trade Raichu for Flutter Mane that helped my Dragonite and Entei to tank the double fire types from my opponent's side, and apparently they did not have a response. In game 3, losing the Raichu turn 1 wasn't amazing, but the Electro Web speed advantage helped immensely. Losing the Entei to Terra Blast from Scizor hurt, but Dragonite and Ogerpon were in a great spot next to each other in the end game. In game 4, got extremely lucky that it was Unaware Dondozo, but was able to break through after the Weakness Policy boost, and unless my opponent got multiple things in their favor with Sludge Bomb, crits, and poisons, was able to clean up otherwise. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get the upper hand strategy with Raichu and Dragonite, and trust me, I have tried multiple times. I played about 30 games with this team, and I either maybe have gotten it off, but it really didn't matter, or it just was really underwhelming, unfortunately, in the position, or it just wouldn't have worked out otherwise. Overall though, I think Raichu was a fantastic support mon. However, I think Electroweb is still really nice speed control, the Lightning Rod, the fast fake out, Helping Hand to boost out the damage output, especially after you got to Electroweb. I think it still has a really ton of value, so I think Raichu was definitely more impressive than the upper hand strategy with the Dragonite. Maybe even a potential different support move might have actually helped me in a lot of more games, and maybe just going to a Choice Banded Dragonite. The one thing that I felt like was a little bit weak with this team was not having the ground type coverage on the Dragonite, because having that coverage kind of hurt a lot of cases where maybe I could have went for an upper hand, I noticed a strategy, but unfortunately they usually had like a steel type or something walling the Dragonite's moves, where it ended up being like pretty hard to accomplish. Overall though, it was a very fun team, pretty solid. If you do want to try it out, the rental code is on your screen. If it is available, you could try it out. Otherwise, the details of the team and the creator will be in the description down below, and of course subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.